Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. All right, welcome to another episode of Teamster Power Reality Check. How's everything going, Garfield?
Doing pretty good. So as we've mentioned multiple times, Jeff is a member of the Fearless Slate, and he's running as VP at large for the IBT. So I wanted to ask, just to get us started, what are the duties of a VP at large? What would you be doing for the IBT should you guys get elected?
Well, one of the things is, involved with, negotiations for the next contract.
All the
That's,
next contracts, like not
well,
just UPS's, just like
yes, all the
yeah,
next, yes, it's, you get involved with that. That's one of the things it says in the duties of it, but you're kind of over the country. You do different things. You go where you needed. You need to, speak up where needed. I mean, specific duties. I mean, there's a bunch of things, but you have to be able to take that leadership role, right?
yeah.
And make decisions like anything else. I mean,
Hmm.
where there's issues, you take care of issues. And you know, I mean, it's where you need it. It's really where you need it. But one of the specific things is contract negotiations.
Yeah,
So it's I mean, but everything's important. Wherever I'm told I'm needed, I'll go,
yeah.
right? I mean, that's really it. Anywhere in the United States. It's
And
not a specific region.
and how many VPs at large are there?
7.
Seven? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, there's regional VPs as well. How many of those are there?
15.
15? Okay. So
Yep.
like and the purview of these is just basically go around and help out with negotiations and I'm assuming the
Whatever needed, wherever, like where
yeah,
there's issues and stuff like that. I mean, to solve issues, to do different things. It just depends. I mean, the current administration in there. I mean, it's wherever they need to go, wherever they need to do.
yeah.
That you're there and you're there to to lead, right?
Help support whatever local,
And
you know.
yes, exactly, and support and all that, and the regionals, southern region, they help in the southern region, western, same thing, eat those, help in those areas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And obviously, I don't know, your experiences with UPS, but obviously Teamsters cover a wide variety of crafts. What other major like contracts and stuff coming up are you looking forward to being able to be a part of?
Well, I mean, they have, they have the waste division, right? And
Hmm.
then they have United Airlines. I don't think they've had a contract for years. Like I think they're in the middle, it's been a long time. Like they're doing negotiations with that. Like I'm looking forward to doing the different things, and getting with people who are in the industry, to pick their brain, right?
Yeah,
And get them involved. They're the ones who have been there, right? You want to listen to people, right? Isn't that
yeah.
important? We listen to people. We gather information from the people who are in those industries.
It's important to understand where people that are coming from that are actually doing the job and not acting like management and being like, oh, well,
Yeah.
we know exactly what's supposed to be done here. We've never done this before, but we
Yeah.
don't know what job is like from a day to day, but we're going to tell everybody how to do it.
Yeah. And that's obviously what happens a lot. We see that, right?
Yeah.
Currently. And, it's like the thing with, like with with the UPS contract, a lot of proposals were put in, right?
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people, not just in our local, but across the country we've spoken to, it was they wanted more time off, right?
Hmm.
They wanted more time. And I
After
mean, the
COVID,
money,
it was a huge ordeal.
yeah, and but I think, the way it looked is, it looked like Sean wanted the big win. And the money's not, obviously, I'm not mad with the money, but the people wanted the time off. They
I'm
wanted to be with their family.
I'm mad with the money.
Okay.
The money was not money didn't keep up with inflation.
Okay.
We're
Yeah. I mean, yep.
we're still the best paid in our craft
Yeah.
in the delivery industry, but the the pay didn't keep up. We're essentially making less money.
Yes.
Like the amount of money we make is worth less than it was at the beginning of the last contract.
Absolutely. I
That's
mean,
just yeah.
that's just what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, that is, and it's a shame. I mean, it's just, and guess what? About 85% of the language didn't change in the
Yeah.
contract, right? And what did they add in the southern region? What did they add in the southern region?
We got we got our what 3 weeks 1 year sooner from 9 to 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, 10 to 9.
Yeah, 10 to 9 years. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, but I mean, it's another cardinal infraction, right? Wasn't that
yeah.
added? Just another. But again, a lot of the language hasn't changed. And look, you can tell because look, UPS is kind of doing what they want, right? With the harassment and stuff like that. That wasn't addressed. Subcontracting, that's nuts. Roadie. Wait a
Huh.
minute. We're not worried about roadie? I mean,
Automation.
I mean automation. Wait, didn't our general president say that he stopped automation at
Yeah.
UPS?
Cameras.
Yeah.
Strike
Wait,
issue.
wait, didn't
Cameras.
he say wait, did he say there were no cameras in the UPS trucks
Mm,
recently?
yeah.
His words. No need to make up anything. I mean, he's got a lot to say about Richard and just our slate in general. He wants to make up lies about Richard and okay, I mean, you want to do that, you want to debate him. Well, he's looking forward to debating you too, Sean. He's not running away.
Well, I mean
Okay?
that's the purview of a weak debate. Is they attack the person and not the argument.
And that's exactly what he was already doing it on his podcast.
Didn't
The most horrible ideas. Is that what it's called?
it might as well be.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what was it? Didn't he have a rally recently that where he spent the majority of the time talking bad about Richard and the Fearless Light?
He did. I think it was the kickoff one in local 25.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh,
yeah, just talking a lot of crap and this and that and you listen to it and you listen to what he says on his podcast when he had his two guests on, Victor Mineros, Lindsay Doherty, and it's like he just loves to lie. I mean, he loves it. He's a tough talker. Can't back it up, but he's a tough talker. Saying he gets the best contracts, not true. We know that, right? Definitely doesn't get the best contracts. Wants to go into the whole per capita thing where Richard wants to reduce, making up stories about things, that shouldn't be, but I'll leave that for, Richard to deal with that one. But it's amazing how, and you could see it like and I don't know Victor Mineros. I don't know Lindsay Doherty. Okay. I don't. So, but what I see is I see Victor saying every time Sean says something, Victor's like, yes, 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 I'm a robot. Yes, yes. He even went so far as to call the Fearless Slate losers. Victor, again, I don't know you, but losers? Come on, man. Is that what we're doing here? Weren't you the one who just sent 9 or 10 BAs to harass Richard and Hannibal when they were out there at the gates at UPS and you sent people BAs out there who don't even represent UPS just to harass them? We have the videos. What was that about? Uh, Wait a minute. And then Lindsay says, "What corruption? There's no corruption." Right. I'll let the members know about that just recently in the West Coast. Griswold, right? That was a whole thing.
well,
So,
and my problem here is
my
is
God.
in a polite society where we want democracy and we want to have a choice in our leaders, not
Hmm.
only at the national level, but at the local level, you
Yeah.
know, the mudslinging is not something that we should be seeing. Like, if you want to have a conversation with somebody or you want to have a debate, then it should be respectful. These people, you should be, you should stand on business and
Yep.
let your record show. If the if the people think that you're doing a good job, they'll vote that way. If
Yep.
the people think that they want a replacement, then they'll vote the other way. And
Yep.
the amount of effort that Sean is putting into trying to make sure that we don't have a choice come
Yeah.
November
Yep.
speaks volumes.
I mean, it does. I mean, and anything that we've put out there has been facts. I mean, anything that we've put out there has been facts. Sean may not like it, but they're facts. You don't change it. And he wants to, try to flip it around. And he was getting all heated on his podcast. Oh, he's like this, and Richard does this, and Richard. How about why don't you talk about some of the actual things going on, the problems going on, you know, in the Teamsters. But no, you want to just go and beat up someone, right?
There are no problems in Teamsters.
Yeah, apparently not, right? Apparently not. Apparently, you know, let's do a cease and desist, a lawsuit, basically against the company. And listen, the thing with the buyouts, that's a whole separate thing, and I'm not going to get into that, either way. But the thing is, we have more important things right now. Rhodey is taking our work. Rhodey has been taking our work.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, you want to talk about negotiations and stuff, and we could have seen this coming a mile
Yep.
away. Not only has Rhodey been a thing since 2021,
Yep.
if the IBT didn't know about it during negotiations, that's on the IBT because we knew about it.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but this could have like I could have told you this was going to happen in 2020. The middle of negotiations, like all getting all this post office going back to them. That was
Yep.
going to be a cheaper option that they were going to send all that stuff back to the post office. And
Yep.
now we've got routes cut, we've got people on layoff. Why are we allowing as as a Teamsters organization that's supposed to be supporting its workers and looking out for the best interests of the people under the contract? Why are we still allowing subcontracting? Why are we allowing any work to go to
Yeah.
another organization while our members are on layoff?
I just it's just mind-boggling, right? Some of the things, and I know there's good, leaders out there across the country. There are,
Yeah,
right? There are, absolutely. And I'm not, you know, but the issue I have is the ones, that want to speak and talk tough and say certain things. It's like the good old boys club. It's like we're going to
yep.
take care of you. We're going to beat down our own members. Like, how dare you? Like, you're supposed to be there for, like, the local administrations, the BA is supposed to be there to take care of members. I mean, you got BAs, and it's not just our local. I mean, we speak to people across the country. The BAs are just not doing what they're supposed to. They're not knowledgeable. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Barely showing up to the building. I don't I don't understand what they think they're doing, but it's not getting it done. And when you want to just you keep removing stewards to get your own people in there so you can use them to campaign. We know what this is. It's this continuous cycle and corruption that I don't know. Lindsay said there was no corruption. I don't understand that. There's plenty of corruption, okay? Because you're holding members down. Corruption holds members down. It's because people in their positions want to keep their positions, right? That's what it is. And it's absolutely there's nothing that gets done. Information to the members is basically non-existent, right? Because you're worried maybe one of those people will take your position, right? Or maybe you're not worried, but you still just do it. But yeah, you're worried you want to stay in that position. So, you know, it's a big problem, but they don't see it as a problem. And there's some of their support. Well, their supporters, a lot of them are getting taken care of, right?
Yeah.
Or they're in certain positions. So of course you're going to defend it till the end. Well, the people defending him is a lot less now because the facts are the facts. And I don't understand. Sean had every chance to do the right thing, right? He did. He did. He had every chance to do the right thing, wanted him to do the right thing, whatever it is, and it didn't happen. Everything else took priority. He, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. Um, but I don't want. We've gotten a little off topic. We were talking a little bit more about,
Yeah.
what you're running for and some of the things that you're looking forward to
Yeah.
in the future, when the Fearless Slate wins at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Um, what are some of the things? So, what are some of the implementation of the ideas that Richard wants that you're looking forward to the most being a part of here
I
at
mean, I
with the
mean,
IBT?
it's like one of them is the open bargaining. I mean, it's
Yeah.
important. I mean, for contracts, I mean, you want to foster democracy. You don't want people to feel like they're being left out of it, right? You want full transparency at the bargaining table. I
Yes.
mean, those are the things, and it builds people. It gets, you don't want to have deals behind the scene. Let the members see.
And this is one of the huge complaints about O'Brien in this last contract because he ran on this.
Yeah.
He ran on transparent bargaining and open bargaining, and we didn't get it at
No.
all. Like we
No.
didn't know we didn't know jack shit about what was going on in the contract. We didn't know, what was being said until the things were being until the things were being put out. Stuff had to get leaked. The contracts had to get leaked, and people were upset about it. And don't get me started about the month long break.
Oh
Where
God.
all of a sudden we're taking a month off of bargaining, and then 2 hours into bargaining in the first day, we've got a quote unquote historic contract ready to
Yeah.
sign and send out to the people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and that's the stuff that people see, right?
Yeah,
That's the stuff that people see. But it's you know, besides, in order to go back into it, besides the open bargaining, which we want, is the internal organizing, the education. I mean, it's crucial. I mean, we do this here. We educate on here because it's important. We want to empower the members, right?
yeah.
I mean, and empowering the members is so they can defend themselves against the country, but the companies. But what we're learning is it's not only the companies we have to defend ourselves against, it's our own union.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how is that right? I mean, you can't. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, education is almost non-existent in the local, right? Our locals across the country, we speak. Like, we don't just speak from our local. We speak to people across the country, and they're telling us the same exact thing. So how is that good? I
Well,
mean,
this is a commitment. This is a commitment, and having spoken with Richard a number of times, I really appreciate this about him. But this is a commitment that I appreciate. Is like, I the the feeling I get from Richard is just because you have a difference of opinion with him doesn't mean you're gonna be putting your job at risk.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and I don't feel like I'll be honest with you. Like, so many people have said, to us, to me specifically about, doing this podcast and, expressing my opinions about the IBT and about local level leadership and things like that. He's like, well, don't rock the boat. You're going to put your representation and stuff at risk if, you find yourself up and going to the company. I was like, then it's at risk.
yeah,
Then fine. If I lose my job, then I'll find another one. I'm not that
yeah.
worried about it. I'm going to
And
stand up for what's right.
always, and that's what we've always done. I mean, that's
And
that's
and
who we
if
are. I
I
mean, you
have a
have to.
disagreement with Hooker about one thing or another, I don't feel like my job will be at risk at that point.
No, no,
Which
that's just,
in different locals, I've heard different stories about people being treated differently because they're on different slates,
yep,
and it's I don't have the especially just with the way, like we were talking about earlier on this podcast, just with the way that O'Brien talks about his opposition.
yep,
Where
yep.
where's the respect?
I mean, it's not. He goes to demean. I mean, it's the way he's always done it, right? I mean, he
Yeah,
went after his own members in 25. I mean, he goes after his own members now,
yeah.
right? I mean, I don't get it. It looks like a sign of weakness. I mean, it is. It just, but he
He's a
talks.
bully.
Yeah, well, I mean, he tries to be, but I don't understand. Like he talks tough, and when he put out that statement that the Teamsters run UPS, that's not being a bully. That's just stupid.
If the Teamsters were on UPS, then we're getting fucked over by the Teamsters.
Right, right, and it's unbelievable. Like things are said. You want to talk tough about, how you did this in the contract, but I mean, look what's going on. How
Yeah,
tough were you? What
yeah.
is it? Over 100 buildings closed, 70,000 people on layoff. Like, how tough were you? Like I said, 85% of the language didn't change. You have the supplements, you have this, but 85% didn't change. And why? Why? Just little things. And when they tried to add it up, they said, this is how many words changed. Words? Words?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, come on. I
And
mean, that's
and
all.
and I remember the documents that they put out of all the changes, and shit, half of the changes were changing the pronouns.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. And we need some things, we need an institutional renewal, I mean, it's practices have become outdated. We're doing the same things, right? You want to change, you want to be current, right?
Yeah.
For the members. Like, I don't understand why, the people, the organizers at the IVT had to fight to unionize. I don't understand that. I don't, maybe I'm missing something, right?
Yeah.
Why did they have to go through, leaps and bounds just to get that? Why has it been like that? I just want to know, right?
You would you wouldn't think that a craft, within Teamsters would have to fight to organize.
Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. At the Teamsters, I
Yeah.
mean, and we have to be about, you know, we have to be about principles, right? That's part of the institution renewal. I mean, principles, I mean, if you don't have a core set of principles, I've always said this. You don't have a core set of principles, what do you have? Right? And then, if you don't have principles, you start calling people losers, right?
Yeah.
On another slate, right? You do
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, but
Oh,
but again, it starts from they're doing it from the top down, and we know unions will start from the bottom up. That's it. Okay, we've been around a long time. We know how things are, and just the lies that come out of the mouths of the people on the Oz slate, right? Like just the lies. You just want to try to talk about our slate. All right, I'll put myself against any one of you on the Oz slate. I don't care. I'm not running, okay? But stop fucking. You want to talk crap? I mean, so you go head to head. We talk about things. We discuss things. Don't talk shit. Don't talk shit. And but guess what? The ones that we're gonna have the debate are the presidential candidates, right? For general president, there's supposed to be two of them, right? And there's supposed to be one for the secretary treasurers. Let that
mhm.
speak for it. But anyone who wants to, from the Oslate who wants to come onto this podcast, more than welcome. We can have a good conversation. It doesn't have to be a bad one, right? We could actually have a good one. But I don't really care how it goes, though. I mean, we want to have a good one, but everyone wants to, oh, hey, you want to talk shit, and they want to, yeah, yes, yes, Sean, yes, Sean, yes, Sean, yes, Sean, do it. We're not doing that.
No.
We're not doing that. So, and these are the truths. If you want to listen to someone say, yes, Sean, yep, 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 listen to Victor Mineros, okay? Listen to him just yes him to death. At least, I mean, Lindsay doesn't even yes him to death. I mean, she's just a whole different thing. But
Well, here and this is a problem, and this is a problem I've said for years with leadership. Not only in our local, but in the IBT local, is like you should surround yourself with people who think differently than you.
yeah,
You should be able to have a debate and talk with people. You're not like just because you sit at the top of, the president of the IBT or president of a local or whatever, doesn't mean you've got all the best ideas. Doesn't mean that you have all the best information. Doesn't mean
no,
you've got all of the answers. You should
yeah,
surround yourself with people that think differently, that think, more
yes.
broadly, that, you can have a discussion with and move forward and allow the best ideas to be brought forward, as opposed to just doing is like, oh no, I'm in charge, you're going to do what I say.
Well, I mean, and that goes to also to like union democracy. That's another thing,
Yeah.
right? At the international level, at the local level, like the joint councils, they're appointed. Why shouldn't they be elected? What's the problem? I mean, I'm sure there'll be a fight against that, right? Oh, but why shouldn't they be, in election? However it goes, but just you're appointing your own people at this point.
Yeah.
And how is that a democracy? It's kind of the opposite, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we need,
Stewards should
yeah,
be elected. I mean,
yeah,
it goes down so simple as you should be able to vote on the people that you're going to be that's going to be representing you in your building.
yeah,
People
yeah.
that should be able to get together and vote on who is going to be the best representative.
And that's
And
member empowerment right
and
there,
that's
right?
that's now giving the members a choice. A local union president shouldn't have carte blanche to be able to remove or instate a steward at a building level. Like the
Yeah.
people that are there that you work with every day should be able to, vote on who's going to be their representative and who they feel would be the best representative for them. And, it shouldn't have anything to do with who's on whose politics or who's backing who. Honestly, as a steward, like I almost and I've done this before. Like I've obviously made people have asked my opinions and people said, "Hey, who are you voting for? I'm going to vote that way." And I don't like to tell people who to vote for. I like people to make up their own minds. But
Yep.
the vast majority, but unfortunately, we live in, in today's society as people aren't as involved. Teamsters aren't as involved as they should be, and I can't make people be involved. So if people ask my opinion, I'm going to tell them. But I don't go out of my way to campaign for people, um, one way or the other. I just, if people ask my opinions, I tell them this is what I think.
Yeah.
These are the ideas that this slate has. These are the ideas that I believe this slate has, and which whatever one of those you feel is and ultimately as a steward, many of them will come to me and it's like, well, just who are you voting for? And I'll tell them. I was like,
Well, yeah.
but
Yeah. It's listen, so again, I know you have, we were both frustrated with the contract when they were going around saying
yeah,
vote for the contract. How about just giving the members the information and letting them decide,
yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, even coming down to the contract, because I remember in our when we did our contract meeting, and they rented that hall, and people showed up, and there was maybe 100, maybe 150 people there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you don't include the BAs and everybody else. Out of a 10,000 person local,
Yeah.
and, a lot of stewards were there. I was there, and we spent, I believe it was like 9 hours going over all the changes in the contract. And by the time it was over with, there was maybe 50 people left in that room.
Yeah.
Maybe 50 people left in that room. And I stayed for every second of it because I had questions I wanted to ask, and I asked them. And I wasn't happy with a lot of the answers, but, I asked opinions of my peers that I respected. And, I wasn't happy with a lot of their answers, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
It's
just that's where we ended up being. And I came across my stance on the contract didn't change that day as a result of the answers that I got. And I was like, there are things in here that I'm not prepared to vote yes on.
yeah.
Especially like the southern region. Like we didn't get changes to our vacations the way we should have. We didn't get changes. We didn't get we had a fucking whole cardinal infraction added to the contract, and I wasn't happy with it. And so many people was like, oh well, I think this is the best we're gonna get. Well, we're never gonna know what the best we're gonna get is until we
Yeah.
walk out
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
until we
And
put the company on notice. And until we do that, the company's not on notice. It's just a
no,
threat until it happens. And
well,
nobody takes a threat seriously until they see that, you can act on it.
they were never going to strike. I mean, we were
No.
never going to, the picketing was for show. And listen, 97, you had the leverage, right? The most leverage. And this past time is when we had the leverage to,
Yeah.
to,
We
yeah,
had public support, we had the leverage because, we had been out there, going strong through all of COVID, working our 10, 12-hour days, 60-hour weeks for a couple of years, really.
yeah, yeah,
And we had the support of the population. We had the support of the government as well. If we had, I don't believe at the time Biden would have stepped in to done anything to stop it. So I think that we should have. I think we should have gone for the gold, and we should
yeah.
have had the protections for automation. We should have had the protections for layoffs. We should have gone for a bigger raises. We should have gone for the vacations because this company is still making billions in profit.
Well, yeah, and those things and the cameras. Well, if the cameras were in the truck, remember the signs, cameras in, we walk, right?
Yeah,
Subcontracting, we walk, the president of our local, he's holding up signs to that effect.
yeah,
I mean, but again, and we're gonna go off for a second here, the cameras, that's a whole nother thing. Now it's the health issues, right?
yeah,
The health risks that the IBT didn't want to get involved. Remember us, late Eric Johnson, Mike Moxley, they offered, they tried to get the IBT involved and they didn't want to get involved. And through research and everything, there are some serious health issues there. And it's a problem, like they were put in there without negotiating. As far
yeah,
as I know, we didn't negotiate anything to keep the cameras in there, right? Like
yeah,
to have them put in there in the first place.
yeah,
But they were put in, so why didn't we have them take it out or something? But nothing like that was done. But that's that. But now we're worried about the health risks,
yeah,
right? And we still won't know maybe years down the road.
yeah.
every health risk of it, right?
Yeah.
But why wasn't that a concern,
Yeah.
right?
I'm gonna
And
go. Yeah,
about just speaking, continuing on the contract, we're 2026. This
yeah,
contract was signed in 20 what was it? October of 2023?
yeah. I think it was. Yeah, yeah,
August, October, something like that. October 2023. I don't remember when it was.
yeah.
I mean, I
It
know it
was
was
after the
before,
thing.
huh?
It was like a month longer than it should have
Yeah.
been after
There you
August,
go.
So
So we're halfway through this contract. How many AC trucks do we have?
exactly. I mean, but we know the whole thing about that, right? That was just, hey, for both sides, a big show. It
Yeah.
was. It was. And listen, big deal. Well, I mean, the feeder trucks have air conditioners, so
Yeah.
we have that. There's precedent there, right?
Yeah.
Like of having AC, but we knew what that was about, and that was supposed to be in zone one, which is our zone. How many trucks are actually on the road? Like on one hand, maybe I don't even know. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't hear of the trucks, but that's one of the issues. And I want to go to something because this is kind of like what Sean did was us against everyone, right?
Yeah.
So, this is, just getting away from where, we were just talking about what we really need, what we want to do is a united labor movement. I mean, we've been isolated because of leadership saying, hey, we'd be by ourselves. And they've aligned with anti-worker administration. That's a fact, right? Not going to get into anything else. Anti-worker. So our rights and protections are being threatened constantly all the time. So something with the United Labor Movements. How about all the unions out there? Like automation's a problem for the
Everybody.
unions out there, right? So why don't we all get together and educate each other together on on AI automation and all that. Like that's something we've been talking about too. Like that's the education for that, but then we'd be joining with other unions, which would make us stronger, which would make them stronger, which would make the labor movement stronger, right?
And
Isn't that what you try to do?
that's nothing. I never did understand why people in Teamsters, want to isolate us, because all unions should be backing each other. We should all
Yeah.
have each other's support. We should all have each other's backs. And isolating ourselves from other unions only makes all of us weaker.
Yep.
Just because I'm a Teamster and somebody else works for, the UWA or UAW, doesn't make that person any less of a brother to me. They're still fighting for their rights. They're fighting
Well,
for good contracts.
again, when I was a business agent, there was an issue down at Marshall at one of the
Yeah.
United Auto Workers plants. We went down there and we walked the line with them because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? Let's walk the line with them. Let's make them
It,
stronger.
it doesn't matter if you're a Starbucks worker
Nope.
trying to unionize, or you're a mechanic. We should be standing next to each and every one of them. It doesn't matter what union they belong to.
Yep.
And
Yep.
not doing that makes all unions weaker.
It does.
And
It does.
if that's Sean's goal, to make unions weaker, which seems to be his goal,
Yeah.
considering how he's been acting, then he's succeeding. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess if that's what he's wanting to work for, I don't know who's lining his pockets as a result, but out from looking from the outward in, it seems like his whole goal is to make unions as a whole weaker.
It seems like that. I mean, it's who he's associating with, right?
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't and listen, so forget everything else for a second. Again, the representation, the enforcement of the contract has been pitiful, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying everywhere, but we're seeing it a lot across the country, okay? There are some locals that are probably doing a really good job, and I'm talking to the ones out there who are not, and the members know when they listen what locals, because like I said, we get a lot of emails, and the emails we get are alike, right? Because this one's happening here, and here. It's the same thing happening. Like, why aren't you taking care of stuff? Why aren't some of the BAs not taking care of stuff? Why are they not helping certain people because those people are against them? Like, that's the stuff. That's basic stuff. That's bullshit. Help. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're on the when they removed me as a steward, I helped all the people who tried to run, who were against us when we were running. I don't care because it's us against the company,
Yeah.
not us against us, right? I don't even think twice about helping anyone, whether they were for us against. I help them because we need to educate people, get them smarter, get them stronger, empower them against the company. But these people don't understand that, and I don't, and they'll just spew lies, and we're responding to, our response is, you're putting out those lies. We're not, it's not talking shit about them. We're trying to say you're not doing the right thing. You could do better, but you're not. You
Yeah.
choose not to, right? I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem, and so many things that need to change. I mean, there's so many things that need to change, and
Well,
it's
listen, Jeff, as we tend to do, we kind of got on tangents and stuff in this throughout this episode, but
We did.
I just wanted to say, like me personally, having spoken with you and many of the members of the Fearless Slate and Richard, I look forward to having, people with your passion and your dedication to Teamsters and to the all unions, brothers and sisters around the country, in office to
No,
make sure
no.
that, we can bring this Teamsters and all unions in this country back up to a level that hopefully, will support workers and help grow the middle class in the way it once did.
Yeah, I mean, we need to be the best version of ourselves. We're not right
Yes.
now.
No.
And we can't be our best if we're not doing certain things to, maintain that. And,
Yeah.
myself, we've always been involved. We've never hid from anything. We've never, ever, ever sat on the sidelines.
No.
Not once.
It's not in
Okay?
us.
No, it's not in us, and it's not about being tough. It's not. And if there are things that, if there are things that, maybe like, Sean might have done that we agree with, then we say we agree. There aren't that I know of. I mean, we obviously wanted the best contract and everything, but you have to have a passion for doing the right thing and the principles, like we've always said, at the Fearless Slate, it's, Richard is, I mean, they can say what they want about it. He's the real deal. He really is. He is who he is. He's not running from anyone. And Sean, he's not running. He will never run from you. And he can't wait to get
with you either. So that's hey, both of you want it, right?
Yeah.
Both of you want it. You'll get your chance, right? And that's going to be what it is. But we're going to keep pushing. We're rank and file. We are like, we are you. I mean, we're the members, right? I mean, I think people forget where they come from a lot of times, and if it's crazy if we were all together.
much stronger. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It
It's
is.
And I'm saying this, and we got two slates going at it, and and everything, and we'd be so much stronger together. But that's just not in the cards, right? It's not in the cards. But I know we want people. We get in there, we want people who want to help, and it doesn't matter who it is,
No.
right? We want everyone, whoever wants to help and shows that they want to help. It doesn't matter what side you are on. I mean, we have to be better than that, right? I
We
mean,
should
we
be.
we do. Yeah, and we want more members to be fearless. That's a fact. That's not some corny line. That's people have to be fearless. They have to be willing to stand up for what's right and what's wrong. Both.
They shouldn't be afraid of the companies they work for, and they certainly shouldn't be afraid of their own damn union.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. And that's what it comes down to. Um, and I'm just gonna say one last thing. A lot of the delegates are doing their thing right now, and it's about choice, right?
Yeah.
It's about the democratic process. You want, you don't want Sean to run unopposed. I mean, he'd love that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he'd love that. But no, the members have to want a choice, and that choice event that's going to be us. We get on the ballot. Hey, it's anyone's game, right? And we believe we're going to get on the ballot. We're going to, do what we have to do to get on the ballot. And once that happens, then the members can decide, right? and that's it. That's democracy.
Yeah.
We want to win. We believe we'll win. But, it's up to the members. You don't want to just leave it up to, just don't get us on the ballot. And then, right away it's Shawnigan and that's all you get.
Yeah.
So, every delegate, every delegate state needs to, just know full well, give them, let the members have a choice, right? That's it. And let it go
That's
from
all
there.
we're asking for.
That's it. That's exactly it. And, Garfield, I'm glad we did this. I mean, we needed, I had some things to say, wanted to talk about some of the things that we want to do. And, as we go across the country, we'll speak about things more, right? I mean, we don't shy away from it. We've been talking about these things, believe it or not. I mean, we put out the truths about what's going on currently at the IBT and what we don't like and whatnot. But we also talk about solutions because you got to have solutions. And we've been talking about that. We've been putting that out there, and we're going to put it out there more. Okay, and the members deserve that, and we want to give the members the best option. So, we all can flourish, right? We all, the membership can flourish, and they can get stronger against all the companies out there that we have to fight and not fight ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
So, well, I appreciate it, Garfield. I appreciate you, just asking the questions. Whatever they were, right? So for myself and Garfield, everyone have a good day.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.